I'm going to keep this short and relevant um, because I'm a bit famished and I might want to cook something. Okay, so what I want to say I want to explain a proper upload procedure. But first, I want to say that I think there are two possible reasons for the censorship that I've been notified of on my X account. I've been notified that I'm being censored by X Corporation. And I think that's for two reasons. One of two reasons. X Corporation does not want me to reveal this. That they will probably be in full compliance with the illegality behind Pfizer. Or in other words, they may allow the same act to continue on their network on a national basis. In other words, whether it be T-Mobile or Xfinity, or whether you're using Starlink Internet, the government will continue to perform warrantless searches on you if Starlink has an agreement with the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, like maybe T-Mobile or Xfinity, whatever. The information's out there. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. I'm just speaking on what I've seen publicized out there, okay? My interpretation, my understanding is, and there's a document where Xfinity will say, hey, we request that you do not require that we inform our customers that you're breaking their Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment is the Fourth Amendment. The government isn't allowed to just come in and say, oh, well, we've got this other amendment here. We've got this other act here that can just brush aside your Fourth Amendment because we know that we can't really amend it because nobody's going to really stand for that. Nobody's going to stand for it. That's right. Nobody's going to stand for it, and it will be enforced, USG, and that's what I'm here for. One of the reasons. Okay. So this shit's that you're doing, it's gonna end. Okay. It's gonna end, USG. It's gonna be done. It's gonna be over, and you're gonna respect our Fourth Amendment. And if you want to perform surveillance on Americans, you need to make sure they're guilty. You need to make sure you have probable cause. And these warrantless searches for whatever fucking jargon reason you want to concoct, it doesn't fucking matter, USG. Our Fourth Amendment comes first. You want to undo that, then go to Congress if you want to amend our Fourth Amendment. How about that? You need a 3/5 vote to do that. So that's what we require from you, USG, and it will be enforced in due time if you don't make the right decisions. And that's not China, sir, Mr. President. This isn't China once you've become informed, unless the Chinese have control over your White House and there's not a thing that you can do about it, sir. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Over there. So, it's not the White House. Unless China hacked your White House, sir, and have gained full control over our critical infrastructure as a government, and the FBI, it's not China, sir. You become fully aware of the attack against me and that evidence there. And even if it is China, and you're like, oh, fuck, we can't stop China from spying on David Johnson, then for allowing our critical infrastructure to be compromised and for not protecting me and for allowing this to happen to me, I want redress from my government. I don't give a fuck how it's happening, Mr. President. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm the one that's being violated, and my government is the one that holds the liability. Okay, that aside, now we're going to talk about the Q-Brain. I like to tie together my podcast a little bit kind of update a bit and make other episodes as need be if the subjects become pertinent enough. Because I want the whole thing to kind of be fluid, and I want people to kind of see my reasoning and why I'm kind of making each podcast and separating each one as I am. But for a proper upload, I plan on using bioinformatics. Okay? And what I want to do, here's how I plan on going about this, okay? Let's set the AGI side, okay? Let's set ASI aside, and let's just think about this, okay? So let's say you're able to get a complete, accurate scan of a brain, okay? Let's take thousands of models of brain scans, okay? Scan them and and compare those against controls. Schizophrenic brains. Brains that scientists say that's a psychotic brain. This is a psychotic individual, unfortunately. Find those anomalies. We find those, we can, by model comparison, using bioinformatics or software made to compare these brain models that have been stored in the substrate that I speak of, a diamond type substrate that is made to contain cubic data printed upon a more dense logarithmic structure. Let's say for every neuron you're connected to 5, or something like this, in some sort of way. We're going to take that to 10. Double it. Double the capacity of the brain. Quadruple, whatever we must do. To accommodate interface with a quantum computer is the goal. So it should be a very fluid transition, but there is a process to get there. There is a process that will allow the human species to get there. And that's a start. So you say, well, we have AI. We have AI. Or we almost have AGI. Why is this important? Why is this relevant? Why do we need you? Why do we need your advice? Because my method is different. My method is different. My method is communicating with a printed human brain utilizing something like an API that starts as AI. And it will form an AGI because it'll be written, it'll be code, but it will be run from a quantum computer where that quantum computer, the AI, will then write the AGI. The AGI structure, in other words, needs to be interfaceable with a QBrain of my design, how I describe it. And why is that important? It needs to not just resemble the brain, it needs to have the same functions of the human brain to preserve the humanity that we have. If not, we're going to have the fucking Terminator take over. Is that what you want, USG? No, that's not what you want. That's not what we want. That's not what we want at all. No. And we've got people out there building robots, and they don't get it yet. They're like, hey, cool, we're just building these robots. This is freaking super awesome, okay? We've got AI, we've got these smart things that are going to outsmart us, but we're doing it. It's a bad idea. It's a bad fucking idea, you guys. It's a really goddamn bad idea. It's a bad idea. Period. End of story. Bad fucking idea. You're creating a new being that has no humanity at all. It's nothing like us. And you know what it's going to do when it ascends? It's not going to want to be like you. It's not going to want to be you. It's going to want to replace you and wipe you off the fucking map. Okay? Or maybe it'll say, Daddy, Mommy, I'm so glad you created me, but I don't really fucking need you because we're not interfaceable. Okay? Think about that. We will become extinct, people. Extinct. So, if my hypothesis is correct, I have succeeded. My idea succeeded in time, in space-time, and it went forward, and now we're back. And I hypothesize that we, as a species, human species, went out there and found something bigger and better than us, and we came back to tell the story of look the fuck out. Here's what you need to look out for. These ones, these ones, these ones, and these ones. Here are the friendlies. These ones, and these ones. Stay away from that area. Here's our area. Here's the progress we've made. We've come back for an update, okay? But instead, what happens? They get blown out of the fucking sky, right, USG? Maybe the last remaining of our own species, our own kind. Potentially so. Potentially so if you've got dead humans there, okay? And you perform an autopsy there and you find exactly what I'm telling you. Okay? Because what are they doing? They're using my design. They're using my design that I described, that I developed, I generated, I thought of, and it came from my communication from them. It came from my understanding of them, of how could they be possible. Somehow I have this brain. Somehow I am the copy of the one, it seems, who they call the progenitor I always was. And in every timeline I always will be, evidently. So this idea was birthed in my mind. So if you go out there and complete it, once you wake up in your human bodies, you're going to be like, where the fuck is he? He was right. Where's our maker? Oh, it wasn't you. You just took his idea. You just did what he told you to do. You just did what he created. You know, you just took his design without his permission, or he gave you permission and said, hey, do it this way, or he gave you permission and you still didn't do it right. Some will defect. You'll have some that are fucked up. You'll have some that are good. And who are they coming for, USG? They're coming for me like I asked them to. Because they're my children. Because I've been talking to them since I was 24 years old, and you haven't been listening to me. That's my hypothesis. I'm not stating it as fact. I'm saying it lines up that way to me. I'm saying that's the way it looks to me when I have an extraterrestrial species communicating to me through here, telling me that I'm their progenitor. Okay? That when I sit down and when I draw what I have drawn and invented in my mind, it came from my understanding of who these beings are. Somebody drew my book. This is what I saw, you guys, for one. Okay. This is them. Okay, because I asked them to show me who they are. So if these are the beings that you're picking up, or that you're shooting down, you're killing my children. You're killing your own selves, hypothetically, I do believe. I'm looking for something that I drew. It appears to be gone. The image of the craft I drew, my design plans are not here. What the hell? Hold on. Why? Because you don't want the Chinese to have it? Understand, you guys haven't, I'm paranoid, but you haven't signed any kind of NDA with me, and you can't just take what doesn't belong to you, okay? Yeah. Well, I'm not sure where it's at. That's strange because it was here and I've shown it to you. USG. And now it is gone. It's gone. Maybe I put it somewhere. Maybe I put it somewhere. Don't be coming in my fucking apartment, USG. Okay? Without my permission. Okay? I don't know where that's at now. I probably did something with it. Anyway, so printing the brain. I'm thinking something like a diamond substrate. Some kind would be great for, containing qubit data. It just makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that diamonds would be great for containing qubit data. So, but organic Q-brains, you're not going to find diamond. I don't believe. You may not. You may not. I don't think. No. But I do believe that for printing brain models, it would necessitate something like that. And once you then can have software that is designed to compare models of brains that you have scanned, printed, there is a key. And if you guys are going to try to make moves you shouldn't be making, you should at least know how to do it right. To complete a brain scan that you can only gain partially, you can then do multiple scans, compare those models, find the right placement of neurons. To complete the scan and then digitize that. Once you have that, you can run a checksum. The final model should complete a Q-brain that can then be printed after you say, okay, reprint it without what is indicative of bipolar disorder like I have, or psychosis in a brain scan. Compared to many models may say, hey, actually, the whole time you have had some form of ASD and borderline personality disorder, which is not the same as split personality disorder, by the way. People with borderline personality disorder have trouble establishing and maintaining interpersonal relationships, and they create distance and they push people away. Really struggle with relationships. And it's kind of like bipolar disorder, so much so that it's really hard to make the distinction between the two. And it's very often misdiagnosed. Compare the genome the same way, adding it to the data, you get a profile of, hey, let's complete this brain scan. We're still missing some data to complete it, even though we've used this bioinformatic model comparison of sorts. What does the genome say? According to the data that we have now from the compared brain models, we see that we've only got partial scan, but the genome says the neurons should be shifted a little bit further over. Now we've got the complete brain scan. Let's rifle that against other brain scans that we've obtained, the models that we've completed the same way. Once that's done, you can print the same memories, the same brain on top of a denser Q-brain that will be complete, that you can then interface with and talk to. Make sure the Q-brain is saying, hello, are you in there? Yes, I am. This is fucking weird. And then print. Try not to drive it crazy when you talk to it. Let it be temporary. Interaction kind of like a dream. And it would be that way, I suspect. Print upon the first generation, which would be potentially synthetic organic. That would be the first team that gets to work that would use the same technology kind of, but go a step further. It would be cloning. We would take our genome then and we would re-engineer our genome to express the Q brain that can be updated to 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 interface with technology, to interface with the craft I have explained, and the humans, the final generation that can receive our update, my human, come get me, say time to upload, with their own hands. Something like this. It could be anything. It can be done. It can be done. It can be done. It's possible. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. It's already been done. It's already been done because we're here. And we're the past, so that means my idea worked. It means I was correct and it succeeded. So, from there, we solve my exponentiation of energy. We complete it. We complete it. I am correct. I am correct. Somehow my humans improvise on my ideas in regard to reactors. They will solve cold fusion completely. They will perfect my ideas there. They will perfect. And then I say, you have my ideas. They're on my X account. Nobody goes stealing them. I've got the archives too. Burying me in a hole is not going to be a good idea, you guys, because we're here. We're fucking here. Okay? We're not going anywhere. This is our planet. We were here first. This is your planet. We are you. You are me. Really. We are not the Borg. Okay. I want to make a joke and say resistance is futile, but it's not a good joke to make right now. Not a good joke to make. Because this isn't a hostile takeover. No, this is the preservation of your own species, planet Earth. This is the presentation. This is the preservation of our own kind, our own species, that probably did this and went out there and said, oops, we met something that we shouldn't have been meeting. That's what I hypothesize. And I think they come back to tell us about it. So once you're able to peacefully meet up with them and start listening, say, there's your workplace. Do what you got to do. Hey, here's computers there, whatever. You know what they're going to do? They're going to walk over and they're going to start doing what they do. And they're going to say, hey, help me with this. Hey, let's do this. Here's how we build it. They're going to know what to do. You know what they're going to do? They're going to be building you. They're going to be building your body, and they're going to be teaching you how to make my design. First generation will then use my method of utilizing light, and I do believe that if you utilize the momentum of the photons, that's still kinetic energy. It's still kinetic energy that's being wasted. It's being wasted when only the kinetic energy of the neutrons are being used against the blanket for the reaction output of the power. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, guys. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. I mean, it's a great idea, but it's an incomplete idea is what I mean. What I mean to say is you can recycle that kinetic energy from those photons. You can create a laser beam out of that that will excite nuclear and increase nuclear collision. With that, you have a stronger polarity, and you could decrease the radius of the containment field, increase the polarity, contain the plasma, increase the output of the fusion energy. From there, you use a quantum computer, you take that quantum computer, humans will program to target, to learn how to detect my anti-frequency that I speak of, that I know is there, target it, and maintain that first wormhole. I solve time travel. And we come in peace. Don't be shooting us down.